Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Piofiore along Dante's route. We've been living together in the safe house out here. Pretty much just the two of us, although Leo brought Carlo along. And we finally learned a little tiny bit about what the Key Maiden is, although we still aren't exactly sure what it's for. We know it's to safeguard the relic, but we don't know if, both us and Dante have to be killed in order to open the seal or something, or just need a few drops of blood. What's the deal? No idea. But apparently it's a legend and appears to be supernatural and religious in nature, so not everybody even believes it's real. In any case, let's jump back into the story. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. Ironic, considering he's the one taking care of me with all that's happening. That's right, we're at breakfast right now, and we found out that Dante's, not very good with the kitchen or housekeeping. So, we're taking care of that while he bodyguards us. Still, I couldn't hold back a smile at the thought of him trying his best to help me out. He tried. Just when I finished cleaning up, Leo came to visit. Always good to see you, buddy.
I'm here to report to the boss. I also bought some food, so I'll drop it off in the kitchen.
Thanks. This much? It must have been heavy. Thank you, Leo.
No problem at all. If you need anything else, feel free to let... Huh?
What?
Come on, Carlo, don't bite my feet. That's dangerous, I could step on you.
Oh, come on, like he could be getting through any shoes you'd be wearing. I'm so sorry, Leo. Carlo, go over there and play, okay? Throw him a little toy.
Don't you get in trouble now, Carlo. Well, that's all the food for today.
Thank you very much, Leo. Leo coughed a bit to clear his throat, then went to see Dante.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, boss. I'd like to report that the Laoshu and the church are making their move. There haven't been any developments on that yet. Nicola is currently trying to get in contact with the church. But it isn't going well, so he mentioned that he may need to go to Rome to see them.
Why are they avoiding us? This sounds suspicious, like somebody's infiltrated the church and turning them against us. Who's screwing with us? My shoulders fell a bit, hearing that things weren't going well with the church.
I'll think of a backup plan. Here, these are my orders for today. I'll make sure this gets relayed. I'll report back if anything of interest happens. I'm sorry for bothering you so often. I'll take my leave now, boss.
Leo bowed his head to Dante, then looked toward me and Carlo with a smile.
I'll bring more good things to eat next time I'm here. I'll see you again too, Carlo.
Thank you, Leo, and be careful. There's a lot to be careful from out there now. Leo took off after playing a bit with Carlo on his way to the door. I heard rustling behind me and turned to see Dante going through the newspaper Leo bought. Read anything interesting?
A discussion is being held in Locarno, Switzerland.
A discussion? About what? What does it have to do with us?
To put it simply, several European countries are in talks to bring peace to the region. If the treaty's signed, the conflict in Germany should dissolve in a peaceful fashion.
That's wonderful.
Yes, and it also means there'll be more stability among the countries involved. And that should help alleviate some of the tension that could otherwise lead to warfare.
I do hope they all come to an agreement. The Falzone must have trade relations with other countries, which would explain why Dante was so keen about the world affairs and the economy. I went to the kitchen to brew fresh coffee so that Dante could enjoy his paper. I'm sure he could enjoy his paper without coffee. Maybe a little less. After serving lunch, I had some spare time. With nothing else to do, I decided to tidy up the place. Not that it was dirty, but there were a few spots here and there that were bothering me. I cleaned the kitchen already, so today I'll clean the living room.
I'm sorry, Lily.
Huh? What are you sorry about?
It looks like I'm burdening you with all the housework.
Not at all. Huh? Oh, don't worry about it. Like I said, it was far more work at the church. Cleaning after 2 people is nothing. Not only that.
Huh?
I feel a lot better being able to do something rather than sit around like before. I'm a contributing member of society.
I see. Well, you seem to know what you do. May I ask how life was back at the church?
I had my older sisters, some friends close to my age, and a lot of small children. I chuckled as I recalled how loud and busy the church was. Very lively. It was very noisy, day in and day out. I would not have been able to deal with that. I'm a person that needs more solitude and quiet. Cleaning was a challenge, and the only time things were quiet was when everyone was either eating or sleeping. That's right, because they eat in silence, which is so awkward.
A challenge? I couldn't imagine. Did you have a hard time with it?
Why, yes. The children were always playing outdoors, so it was always a battle to keep things clean. Tracking in all the mud. Do you mind if I ask how you were back when you were a kid?
I don't recall much, though I don't think I lived like all the other children.
Being the inheritor, he was probably raised to be the boss.
Well, I do recall sneaking into the kitchen with Nicola to grab a bite to eat.
Oh, they grew up together, huh? So you did have a naughty side.
Of course. Julia certainly scolded us.
Ah, Julia's been with them a long time, too.
Which explains why I can't seem to argue with her now.
I wouldn't have expected that, considering your position.
I suppose I've matured since then. Still, Nicola seems to be able to read me like a book, even today. Perhaps it's mutual. After being together for so long, we just know each other by heart.
I don't know. I feel like Nicola could still pull a fast one over Dante, if you really wanted to. Although hopefully he's trustworthy here. I felt warm inside, simply looking at Dante with that gentle smile on his face. Oh, I want to protect that smile forever, is what I feel like my character should be wanting to say, even if she can't really protect anything in her state. It sounds like you were raised together like siblings. It feels a bit strange, having Dante talk to me about himself. You're the one who asked him to. I learned more about who Dante was, and best of all, we were able to speak with a smile. And now we have a meanwhile story to go listen to. Patience. Everybody has to be patient right now. Say, Yang, can't they make a move yet? How come you're not letting me do anything?
Again, like I said before, now is not the time. There's no need to rush things.
I'm not rushing or anything. But there's no way I could stay still after getting that sent to us.
That's your problem, not mine. Faye's stupid move cost him his life.
Well, yes, but it feels weird not to be doing anything. It's no fun without Faye around. I want to give the Falzones a taste of their own medicine.
Shut up.
Okay, fine. But how long are we going to wait?
Who knows? I don't plan on waiting forever. If they won't make their move, I guess I should make mine instead.
A standoff? See who makes the next move first? Yeah, back to that same scene. I could have a conversation with him now without worrying, unlike back at the manor. I was happy that things had changed for the better, if even just a little. I think it's been more than a little. I mean, we've had quite a bit of time to get to know him a lot better. far away from prying eyes.
Hello there. That smells good. Is that for dinner?
I just finished preparing marlin à la brasse. Would you like to join us? I'm sure you came to see Dante, but if you don't mind waiting until after dinner...
You're right. That sounds like a fine idea.
And a tasty one?
I bought a bottle of wine today. You haven't had good wine since you came here, have you?
Oh, I thank you, Nicola. Well, it's not exactly a necessity, so... His kindness brought a smile to my face. I should get the wine glasses ready then. Dinner was set on the table, with the wine from Nicola poured into our glasses. I said a prayer for the meal as usual.
Very pious of you. But this isn't church, you know? No one's watching you.
Well, being pious isn't about being watched. It's about what you do when nobody's around. Well, I mean, not just piousness. Everything. Everything is about what you do when nobody's around. I wasn't praying to be watched. Exactly.
Nicola.
Nicola shrugged, hearing Dante's reprimanding tone. I've been having meals with Dante since we arrived here. It was normal for us to pray before our meal, so I'd never thought of it that way. I wonder if Nicola's views on prayer was a common one among atheists. I thought about it for a moment. Maybe being raised at the church made me think that everyone prayed before meals. As for Dante, he visited the church every week. I suppose he'd be considered pious as well. I felt a bit closer to Dante now. The salad was tossed with oranges and fresh pepper and olive oil dressing. Though it took a while, the herb-roasted arista was well worth the effort. The main course was the marlin al brace, served with salsa tonata. Too much Italian! I don't know anything about Italian.
Delicious. Yup, delicious indeed.
I would say I wish I could cook well, but I really don't like cooking. I don't enjoy the process. Thank you.
Go ahead and drink up.
Nicola grinned and beckoned me to drink by pouring more wine into my glass. I wonder who has more wine in their culture, France or Italy? Because it seems like both just have wine with every meal. Although that could just be stereotypical of me watching TV.
I can only imagine how boring it is here. You deserve to have a bit more to drink. Of course, not to the extent that you're completely drunk.
What, so hardship equals deserving to drink? That's not the kind of reward I want. Well, if you say so. It had been some time since I'd had wine, and even longer since I had a meal with Nicola. Considering the circumstances, it felt good to share dinner with him like this. If only Leo was here too.
Nicola, don't force her to drink.
I don't think he is. Oh, don't worry, Dante. I'm fine, really.
You're quite the drinker.
Am I? Isn't this just the second glass? I don't even think I finished the first glass. I think Nicola just topped me off. Well, we do have wine during festivities, even at the church. Although these days, I think the church just has grape juice and calls it wine. I don't know if back then they used to give real wine or if it was just grape juice either. Actually in church services. We blessed wine at the church and also included it in our celebrations. Having an enjoyable conversation over a nice warm meal, what a nice way to pass the time. After we finished our dolce, Nicola began his report to Dante.
The church is unresponsive, and the little shoe haven't made another move yet.
That's surprising. Everybody's been sitting still for a while now.
What's odd is that the Visconti have been quiet as well.
They could just be waiting to see how this plays out so they can pounce on the remaining survivor while they're down and depleted.
I can't see why the Visconti are staying quiet. We're at a standstill now.
I think that's why they're being quiet. I mean, they probably think the Lalshu and the Falzone are armed to the teeth, just poised to attack each other. Why would the Visconti want to jump in there?
I'm sure they want to see what happens between us and the Lao Shu.
Yeah, exactly.
But Dante, let's assume something happens to us and the Lao Shu gain control of our territory. Do you think the Visconti would want that to happen?
I could see where Niccolo was going with this. If the Falzone family falls, would the Lao Shu go after the Visconti next?
Yes, and I doubt that Yang has reason to back out of what he started.
As long as he's getting paid, I guess.
Then that would mean the Visconti would want to side with us, wouldn't it?
Huh? Well, the only reason the Lao Shu is attacking us is because we're guarding this relic. If the Visconti don't have a relic, then I don't think anybody would bother them. If I've got that right.
We could say, work together to get rid of the Lao Shu, then split the rights to Berlone.
Sounds good. Edge one out.
Sure, we'd lose money, but we'd also mitigate damage to us. I'm sure they'd bite. Gilbert is business savvy. I can see him wanting to choose the path that leads to the greatest benefit. But if the church is supporting the Lao Shu, that makes things different. True, the church does have a lot of power and extraterritorial rights to Bologna.
What to do? A simple question came to mind. Why would the church side with an organization from another country? Maybe they're being blackmailed by Yang.
You said the answer yourself. It's because Yang is from another country.
What do you mean, Nicola?
The church won't ask their own people to partake in dirty deeds. But the Lao Shu don't care about our God, and they move with money. Quite useful, in fact.
As third-party employees? Nicola, are you implying that the church is involved in all the wrongdoings? Not exactly unheard of throughout history.
Well, they're supporting it at the very least. Not everyone in the church is a saint. I'm not at all surprised that some of them would take questionable approaches to maintain their power.
Nicola, you shouldn't say such things. Yes, you should. You need to pull out the weeds when you see them.
Well, the church is using the Falzone family to do their bidding.
Or at least they used to.
Look at the disciple they sent. He walked out of the gunfire safe and sound. That isn't something any normal person could do.
True. It's like an action movie.
Right. The same disciple is deceiving. In reality, they're well-trained assassins.
He was right. The physical prowess of the young man who attacked the manor was beyond normal. And why would they try just this one guy? Do they not have their own special forces? Just one guy?
The church doesn't want to let their people know that their hands are in the cookie jar. Given that, it's clear to see why they'd work with the Lao Shu.
I guess that makes sense. Even though I don't want to believe it.
The reasoning is sound, but I want to make sure our assumptions are true before we make a move.
I don't want to act on the wrong information.
You're right. It's a bit early to condemn the church as our enemy. After all, it's not like everyone there is united and working toward the same goal.
And we still haven't asked the church directly. The problem is.
In any case, I'll try and get as much intel as to what's going on with the church. I'll also check the Visconti as well. With how things are now, we'll need to use every resource we can to our advantage.
Dante thought for a moment, then nodded in agreement.
Right. I can't take action myself, so I'll need to leave the negotiations to you. Who knew your connections with the Visconti would help us like this one day?
What do you mean, who knew? I would think it was a pretty safe bet that it would eventually happen.
Yup. Leave all the details to me. Now then.
That's why it's always good to find allies. Nicola quickly stood up and reached for his hat.
Well, there's no time to waste. I better get moving. I'm counting on you.
Please be careful, Nicola. Take care of Leo. And with that, Nicola took his leave. Silence fell upon the room again, with only me and Dante left. Not back into the awkward silence.
About our conversation.
What, did we not finish one before?
I'm sorry you had to hear that. I'm sure it wasn't a pleasant thing to discuss.
Oh, that.
About the church's involvement, that is.
I responded to Dante. I'm fine. Not a big deal. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. It's okay. I'm fine. Surprisingly, I wasn't hurt by what I heard. Well, maybe I would have been more shocked if I were still living at the church. I think I've come to see things differently ever since you brought me to the manor. Gained a different perspective. I replied to Dante in a very calm manner that I wouldn't have been able to maintain before. I'm growing up.
I see. That's good to hear. I'm relieved.
Dante's expression seemed calmer. I'm sure the church has its reasons for what they're doing. Maybe it's to protect the faith, something I wouldn't know.
For the greater good. Which isn't always actually for good.
That means that what they're doing is similar to what you're doing to help guard Berlone and the relic, isn't it? Dante didn't deny what I was saying. Of course, I don't think it's right to harm others or commit crimes. But even so, I don't want to force my beliefs onto others.
It's only natural for you to be averse to wrongdoings. However, you've kept an open mind about our actions. Thank you. Somehow that makes me happy.
Aw, that I'm being understanding about this and not condemning him. Dante. Looking at Dante's smile filled me with the same strange happiness as well. Perhaps because it felt like we connected. Dante stared at me. Oh? What's the matter? What, you don't like being stared at in turn? You can dish it out, but you can't take it?
No, nothing.
So he's like, starting to understand why you like to stare at people. Huh? Aren't you tired? You should take a rest.
Are you going to be washing the dishes?
Somebody has to, but it can't be you because you'll drop them. Yes.
I might get in your way, so the least I could do is wait for you to finish.
No, you can go ahead to bed while I'm washing dishes. Unless you're going to come talk to me while I do them. Dante. Then I better finish up quickly. Whatever difference that makes. I smiled at Dante, then cleared the table and headed to the kitchen. A few days passed since Nicola last visited. Wow, everybody was moving so fast before, and suddenly we've crawled to a stop. Waiting so idly like this makes the time go by so slowly. And time goes by so slowly.
Darn it.
Dante gave a deep sigh as he looked through a stack of documents. And we have a meanwhile, so let's go take a look at that real quick. Sharing 3. Was there a sharing 1 and 2? My memory is so horrible. From Nicola's point of view.
Nice to see you, Nicola. Let's get right to business. Check it out.
He nodded toward a large envelope on the table.
Thank you, Gilbert. Do you mind? I see. Could I borrow this? For you? Sure, go right ahead. But what do you need with it?
What do you mean, what do I need with it? You obviously must know since you showed it to him in the first place.
Much appreciated. I'll make this worth your while.
As in? What, paying him enough for it? Doing him personal favors? That was a bit ambiguous. Dante gave a deep sigh as he looked through a stack of documents. I could tell that things weren't going well at all. It almost feels like things are getting worse by the day. Why did they even show that scene if we're just gonna pass a bunch of days real quickly? It might as well just win one big stretch. Make it. I guess they're trying to impress on us just how long we're waiting. Even more idle days passed. One day, Nicola and Leo came over to report. What, both of them? Shouldn't one of them be holding down the fort back at the base?
We have news. It looks like the lost shoe and the church are connected after all. Here's a record of money moving between them.
Dante looked over the document, then sighed.
This does it. Solid proof that the lost shoe and the church won't be able to deny. After asking around, it seems that the Visconti also suspected their connection. I think I can get our plan into action now. I'm sure things will change for the better.
Thank goodness! Finally something's happening. I let out a sigh of relief, hearing the good news. Although I'm sure it's not going to be that easy.
I didn't expect to rely on our rivals like this.
Dante didn't look all that happy, but he seemed to accept the situation. As it is.
But it's better than having no options.
It looked like he was accustomed to putting the family first, ahead of his feelings. Probably. He was probably raised that way.
Good work, Nicola. You're welcome. Well, that's about all I have to report for today. Understood. Leo, I have a favor to ask.
I'll do whatever you want, boss. Aw, cute loyal puppy. Dante stood up and went into a separate room. Leo nodded and immediately followed. Oh, are you trying to hide something from me? With the two of them gone, Nicola began speaking to me.
It must be tough, being stuck here with Dante all by herself.
No, not really. That's not true. Dante's been very kind and considerate.
Good to hear that he at least knows how to treat our dear key maiden. If you weren't the key maiden, then you wouldn't be involved in all this.
I'd just be back at the church as before.
I'm sorry that we had to drag you into our mess.
Don't worry, I'm fine. Despite my answer, something didn't feel quite right inside.
Sorry for keeping you waiting, Nicola. Are you done? We should head back. Yes, and I'll come back with more stuff.
More? What, did Dante just give you a grocery list? Thank you, Leo. Please take care, Nicola. The two of them left our hideout, and I pondered over what Nicola said. Dante is treating me like this because I'm the key maiden? No, come on. After living here with Dante, I thought I had been able to connect with him. You did. Or maybe it was just my imagination. Living with him here has blurred the line between our separate worlds. His way of life is completely different. I told myself over and over again to never forget that harsh truth. It's fine. At the worst, you'll just feel a little hurt when you get back and have to separate. You'll get over it. A day passed since Leo and Nicola visited. I had been thinking about the same thing over and over again the whole night. Oh, now I'm just obsessing. It's only because I'm the key maiden.
Sorry, but could you get me a cafe latte? Lily.
Spacing out over here. Huh? Oh, a cafe latte. Sure, just a moment. I could tell Dante was looking at me oddly, so I quickly left the room. Phew. I sighed as I put the kettle on. I must have acted strange back there, I'm certain Dante took notice. I couldn't seem to behave around Dante like before. I felt uneasy being in the same room with him now. I couldn't bring myself to smile. I'll just relax, chill out. More days passed. We've been spending more days in awkward silence now. You just need to talk to him about this. The thoughts in my mind consumed me, even as we ate our lunch. I sat there twirling the pasta around my fork endlessly.
Let's talk for a moment.
Sure. Dante's voice drew my drifting mind back to the table. About what?
What did I do wrong?
Nothing. It's just me being an idiot. No. You did nothing at all.
Then why are you avoiding me?
Look how hurt his face is, girl. You need to talk to him about this stuff. I'm not avoiding you.
Oh, then do you recall what you were doing over the past few days?
Oh, he looks so mad.
Good morning. Bright and early, aren't you?
Yes. Breakfast is ready, so you can eat ahead of me. Oh, I wouldn't even eat breakfast with him. I need to get Carlo's milk ready.
Huh?
Oh.
I'd like to speak with you if you're free.
I'm sorry, but I really need to clean up the place. Oh, come on, you can talk while you're cleaning. Dante can supervise like a good manager.
Clean, but you've been cleaning the whole day.
Huh? Oh, you're right. Come on, chastise me for being a bad employee. I meant, I need to get ready for dinner. Look at the time. Oh, come on. Why are you putting up with this, Dante? Too many times.
Lily, do you have...
Carlo, let's go to sleep, shall we? Ah. Good night, Dante. How can you pretend to be busy for several days in a row when it's just two of you living here and neither of you are working a job at the moment? Well, I suppose that was obvious. And it's only because I can't seem to act the same as before. No wonder Dante thought I was avoiding him. I'm sorry, Dante. I gave a great sigh. Should be sorry. He's stupid and you're wasting all the good time. Wasting all the quality time.
I wasn't looking for an apology. I just want to know what happened.
Well, why was I acting like this? I wish I knew myself. Dante began to speak again, seeing as I wasn't answering the question.
Is it something you can't tell me?
That's not it. It is, because I'm too embarrassed, apparently.
Is it something you can say to Nicola?
Nicola, why do you say that? It has nothing to do with him. Well, he is a third party, somewhat uninvolved.
Then how about Leo?
An even less involved third party. I think I had better rapport with him. I know I can talk to Leo, but I'm sure he'd tell Dante.
So, you can talk to Leo, but not me.
It's because it's about you. That's not true, but it's hard to explain. You're not at fault at all, though. It's just something I need to handle for myself. Just talk to him and you can work it out while you're talking to him. He'd help you figure it out. Dante frowned at my response. He looked like he was pouting. Poor Dante. Sure, my attitude towards him hasn't been normal, but I only said I couldn't talk to him. I don't see why he'd pout about it. Oh, come on! You're here alone with a man in a house for however long it is. You don't think he'd be a little bothered by the fact that the only person around won't talk to him and is avoiding him? We continued our meal together quietly without speaking. Talk, darn you, talk!
This tastes good.
That's something. Dante complimented me unexpectedly. Oh, thank you.
The cream works well with the pasta. It's not as heavy as it seems, and...
Dante seemed to remember something suddenly and went quiet again. Wait, did it just hit him? Now he's being like, oh, that's why she hasn't been able to talk. I get it. Now I'm gonna have trouble with it too. Great. I washed up the dishes after dinner. It felt really awkward not being able to share my feelings. Then share them! It probably wasn't just Dante's demeanor that was frustrating me. It may have also come from the subtle stress from our current situation. There's nothing subtle about that. I returned to the living room when... Oh? I had been going through the motions when... I realized I was carrying a cup of cafe latte for Dante in my hands. I didn't want to waste a good cup, so I awkwardly placed it in front of Dante. Here. What, did we, unconsciously brew the cup or something? Dante accepted it with a nonchalant attitude, and without looking at me. Are you laughing?
I'm not. You must be imagining things.
He was probably just smiling warmly at the thought of the fact that I automatically made him a cup of coffee. No, you were. Is there something wrong? Did I not add enough sugar?
No, it's just right. It's the perfect cup for me.
I see. I think he was just happy. We were still conversing with each other in an awkward way, but I felt a bit ticklish inside as I watched Dante take a sip of the cafe latte. Leo came again today. As usual, I went through what he bought when...
Oh, and this is what the boss was asking for.
Leo handed me a white envelope. This goes to Dante? Why would he give it to me?
Oh no, it's for you.
For me? Huh?
Well, I need to run. Now if you'll excuse me.
You're leaving without talking to Dante? Leo nodded, then quickly ran off. Dante? This is for me? That's what the man said.
Yes, it's a letter for you.
Is it for a letter from Sister Sophia? Unsure what it was for, I sat down on the sofa to read what it said. It was addressed to me, all right. This handwriting, could it be? I hurriedly opened the envelope to read the letter inside. Sister Sophia! I was right. The letter was asking me how I was doing. What, did Dante actually ask Leo to ask Sister Sophia to write me a letter? I could tell that she was praying for me just by reading the letter. It went on to explain how everyone was doing. Reading it brought a sharp pain to my heart. I wish I was back at the church with everyone. Oh, you don't enjoy your time here with the pretty man? The wish to go home that I'd been suppressing flowed out in tears. Oh, don't look like that. You should have known she would get a little homesick reading this. Dante was about to say something to me, but quickly closes his mouth. He then sat next to me and gently cradled my trembling hand in his. Dante kept quiet as we sat together. He didn't speak a single word, but the silence was welcome. I felt the consoling warmth of his hand slowly make its way into my heart. I wanted to make it other places too. I'm fine now, thank you. I mumbled my thanks to Dante as I slowly regained my calm.
No need to thank me.
I sincerely appreciated Dante's kindness. Even if his kindness is only because I'm the key maiden. Oh, come on! You should have figured out that's not the only reason. It doesn't make it a lie. Really, he's been kind to me all this time. Thinking about all he'd done for me warmed my heart. Dante, thank you for saving me. And we're going to take a break right there in the video, and we'll pick it up in the next episode. Because this is dragging out, this whole episode of time just passing. And all the time we've wasted being awkward when we could have been happily playing house and snuggling and raising a kitten together. Ah, the wasted time! But hopefully I don't know, maybe we'll get together and get to do some cute stuff before I get kidnapped or something and we have to go back into some distressing situation. Anyway, I hope to see you in the next video or some of my other ones. And I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.